in recent weeks, you've put a lot of ideas out there. You've suggested on the campaign trail that January 6th was an inside job, that the plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer was a job of inside entrapment, that the House Republicans, let me finish, that the House Republicans impeachment inquiry is part of a Democratic plot to sideline Biden, that there is a devious Democratic scheme to actually nominate Nikki Haley. The reality is none of these are top issues for Iowa voters. So why are you focused on these conspiracy theories?
Well, focused is a heavy-handed word, Dasha. If you take 80% of what I said, I'm talking about policy and future direction of the country, talking about how we'll increase the supply of energy to bring down the cost for everyday Americans. And so that's 80% of what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to hide from what I do believe are realities hiding in plain sight that people deserve to know about, which the last item that you described. It's not a secret that Larry Fink is going to fundraisers of Nikki Haley, propping her up. That actually one of the biggest funders of the lawsuits against Trump, including efforts to keep him off the ballot, is Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. That's a $250,000 donor to super PAC supporting Nikki Haley. And so I reject this mainstream media general narrative of dismissing something as a conspiracy theory, when in fact I'm a big fan of going after facts hiding in plain sight.
But you know that when you say these things, you know when you bring up the Gretchen Whitmer thing, you know when you bring up January 6th,
grounded in fact.
January 6th being an inside job. Yes, 80% of what you talk about might be policy, but when you hit those issues, that's going to take over the news cycle. You know how it works.
I don't think it should. I'm speaking the truth,
but
as it does
evenly across the board. You're a smart guy. You know how it works. Are you using that to get attention as you've been slumping in the polls?
To the contrary, I'm actually speaking. You have a lot of political analysts that look at this and say exactly what you're saying. Why aren't you just saying what causes you to poll better? It's what every other political candidate's doing. They're taking what their consultants serve them up. Here's what the voters say are the top issues. Spout back to them what the voters want to hear.
So why?
I'm sharing my true convictions. And I think if we want to revive our constitutional republic, we deserve a government that tells the people the truth again. Not just when it's easy, but when it is hard. Our government has systematically lied to us on things that really matter. Of the origin of COVID-19. We were told for years that it didn't come from a lab in China, when it absolutely did. In fact, you were suppressed on social media for saying it. The eve of the last election, I think it's shameful that the Hunter Biden laptop story was systematically suppressed, so voters didn't have that information.
But that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about Gretchen Whitmer being an inside job of entrapment.
I'm talking about a government that has lied to its people. The same FBI that's investigating conservatives, the same FBI and the same law enforcement apparatus, Jack Smith, that has subpoenaed millions of Americans for anybody who liked or retweeted a Donald Trump post in 2020. That's Orwellian, but that's the same federal law enforcement apparatus that put people up to an alleged kidnapping plot that they otherwise wouldn't have been put up to. Multiple defendants acquitted on grounds of entrapment. And so is this a top issue that voters bring up on the mind of voters? Absolutely it's not. But if the mainstream media is pushing, and the establishment in both parties is pushing one established narrative.
So if it's not a priority for voters, why are you so focused on it?
Because truth is a priority for me. That's the answer. Truth is the priority for this campaign. And I don't need to be speaking to what every other professional politician is spouting off. We need to speak the hard truths that other candidates are unwilling to touch. And even though that doesn't poll necessarily on what NBC or the Des Moines Register or another media outlet is going to ask voters what are the top issues on their mind. It's important. What really is important to many voters, I believe, is a government that trusts them with the hard truth again. That hasn't happened for a very long time. And so my view is if that's what the voters want, that's what they're going to get from me. If they want somebody who's going to incrementally reform things, change tax rates by 1% in one direction or another, and call that a legislative accomplishment, go with somebody else. That's not me. But if you want a candidate who is actually going to revive the ideals of 1776, who is going to trust the people transparently with what the government knows to be true, if you want a government that actually is of and for and by the people again, I think I'm the sole candidate in this race who can deliver that. And that choice is up to the voters, but I believe that's what the voters will want. If not, I won't be the president.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
But if it is, I will.
Thanks.
Right, guys. Once again, that was Vivek. He said a few things that were really, really good. I agree that I don't think the January 6th thing and the COVID-19 thing now and FBI or the CIA, I don't think those are the things that are on top of people's minds when it comes to what's important to them when it comes to what they're voting on. I think the biggest thing is the economy. That's always the biggest thing. Inflation, education, healthcare, retirement, Social Security, stuff like that is usually what's on people's minds. But I think he said something that a lot of voters would like to see in a candidate is truth and transparency. He said something that was really important, that truth matters to him. And I think people want to feel like they can, again, trust a politician or politicians, trust their government, trust the White House, and they want to feel like the government and the media is being transparent and honest and truthful. I think people want to feel that way again. And I don't think a lot of people on either side of the political coin that you're on, feel that way. And I think it really does help Vivek to say, I will make you feel that way. I will bring that back for you. Now, who's to say he's really going to do it? Maybe he just says all these things and he's a really shitty, inexperienced, and naive person that goes to the White House and does nothing. I don't know. But I think he's saying some of the right things and throwing out there saying like career politicians. Yeah, these career politicians, they have a script. They know what to say. They know all the bullet points, but what have they actually done? Like he said, pushing the taxes 1% this way or that way. Does it really change your life? Is it really making a big leap forward? I think he said some things that really do speak to people, especially people who are pro-Trumpers or MAGAs at some point and maybe feel like now they don't want to support Trump anymore. Maybe Trump isn't even a viable candidate, or not viable, viable candidate, because he might not be able to run to become president or run for election, or independents, moderates, or younger voters might also like what Vivek is saying. Somebody keeps commenting. I know who you are, and I recognize you in the comment section about Vivek's agriculture stance. I haven't seen Vivek talk about agriculture. If I see a clip where he's talking about agriculture, I will react to it for you, because you commented lots of times about it, and I'm not mad at it. Thanks for commenting and thanks for expressing your concerns when it comes to people who are running to become president. If this is something that's important to you, agriculture seems very important to you. So if I come across a clip, or if you have a clip in mind, you can put a link and I will react to it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of that, what he said. If you agree with him, disagree with him, in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get your notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm. Guys, you can donate, help support helps keep me on this platform, and you guys have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.
In recent weeks, you've put a lot of ideas out there. You've suggested on the campaign trail that January 6th was an inside job, that the plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer was...